Boom. We are back. Back. All right. Cool. So since I got you with me, I'm gonna do it like this. How I've been doing it. You know how that is? Just talking with you. You're whispering again.
Okay.
See, now you're showing your creepy side, the side that other people don't see, and why nobody believes me when I tell them about it. Yeah. Please be who you are at all times.
Listen, Linda.
I'm not Linda. I have a swinging thing between my legs, unless Linda's got large glitters.
That's so disturbing.
Just saying.
Where's my phone?
Linda can be Linda, Lauren, LaShawn.
That's creepy when you smile on here. Makes it look like your teeth are dirty.
Probably are. I felt it vibrate.
It's plugged in. I plugged it in. It was gonna die.
Where?
It's really far.
Really far?
Yeah.
Like how far?
So far.
Oh,
far
no.
that I'm not gonna get up.
Okay, I understand that. The struggle is real. That's it. Okay.
It says it's already live.
Yeah.
Is it like not live on something else?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Anybody else coming?
I don't think so. I told y'all. Let's get into it.
Okay.
All right. So today's topic, I'm going to be covering growth. All right. The growth, the spiritual growth, physical growth, and mental growth. My question to you is, are you growing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you
Childish
growing?
as hell.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being childish. You're still growing.
Yeah, I like to say that I'm growing. But I think my struggle now is not measuring my growth against other people's growth.
That part there.
Because that can really hurt your feelings.
It really can. It
can
really
make
can.
you feel like a not great person.
It's measuring. Oh man, we'll get into that. But yeah, we'll get into that. But first of all, hey everybody, my name is Don Lee.
Hey.
Hi, Don Lee. Hi. Sorry, had to do it. This is an episode of Divine Time with the lovely woman over here on to my left. Can you say hi to the people?
Hi.
Oh, I love you. So with it, we're going to be talking about spiritual growth today. I want to dive deep into it. One thing about me is I need to have intellectual conversations for myself to survive. Like this is life or death for me at this point. So dramatic, right? Like that.
Yeah. That was up there with our daughter.
Where do you think she get a part of it from? I can't take accountability for all of it.
You was reaching. You was Stretch Armstrong, and you was.
There's your dramatic side. There's your dramatic. See, that's what I'm saying. Take two to tango when it comes to that. But yo, first, if you like these episodes, leave a comment and let me know what resonates with you, or shoot, even if you want to tell me how much you hate my videos. Anything helps. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm always looking to better myself, accountability and growth always. So hit that like, run up the algorithm to get these videos to those who need them. Go ahead and comment so I may learn what I'm doing good and what I can do better. Share, for that's how knowledge is passed on. And subscribe if you want to see more of me, or if you want to say hi to this one and make her feel really weird because she doesn't do a whole lot of social interactions.
Yeah, that would be creepy.
I like this ball.
We went through this a lot.
I'm sorry. I know. But people have not seen those episodes. And I'm not going to disclose when. This ball is amazing, okay?
You were talking about me when I had mine.
This is my ball. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Okay, you keep it because.
Let's go straight into the first topic, all right? You ready? I want to talk about spiritual stagnation. Oh. So, question for you. How do you break free from ruts and rediscover your purpose?
Well, the first thing you gotta do is realize that you're stuck. A lot of people don't even realize that they're stuck.
True. I'm like, in order to get balanced, you must first be imbalanced, right? Unbalanced. And one of the things that sucks is what I've noticed with a lot of people is they refuse to admit that they need help. They refuse to say that, you know what, I'm a little fucked up.
Well, yeah, but people that but it's like people don't ask for help because other people make it seem like you shouldn't be asking for help. Or especially if like their perception of how you're doing
Mm-hmm.
makes it seem like you shouldn't be asking for help.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Their perception of who they think you are and how you're doing, whether it's financially, like if you look really good and it looks like all your bills are paid and you're doing this whole facade thing for
All this is a get up, everybody. I'm broke. I'm in so much debt. Like,
listen, I we're not doing none of that. But my point is,
I can't even afford to wear these glasses.
A lot of
The lenses be popping
it's
out.
the people that on appearance look like they're doing all right, that are afraid to ask for help because one time when they did ask for help, they go, "What you complaining for? What you need help for? It looks like everything's going good for you," and then it becomes a whole new problem. They're shamed into not asking for help.
Okay, so would you say that's a downside of the fake it till you make it?
I mean, yes, that would be a downside. That would be a downside.
Damn, bro. So how would
look like you making it? So what you need help?
How can you ultimately break free from that though?
Pretending to be okay.
So then just look like you're struggling?
Hell yeah. I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. But you can be like, yeah, this looks good, but this is what's going on behind the scenes right now. Like this is not all that it's cracked up to be. This looks great. You see the outcome. You don't see the sweat and the blood and
pause real quick. Let me yell at our crash room real quick.
I was going.
Hey.
You can't hear you.
Yeah, you can't now. So what would you say is a good way to break free from the rut? Oh, I know it wasn't the dog knocking like that. Okay, so one way that I can think of how to break free from the rut would be WD-40 for a door. First, you must recognize what it is that you are going through. Recognize what it is that you're going through. Find out the stem of it, babe.
I was being creepy with my
Yeah, the door creaks every time that you slowly open it and close it. So I'm over here, all your
okay.
That's what it felt like in my head. Seriously, I'm like,
sorry.
Yo. So I'm gonna get some WD-40 after this episode.
Sorry, you better than me. I would just use the oil for my hair, and I know that's a terrible thing, but I would just go shh. That's what I did in my old place.
I'm gonna get WD-40, so if someone try and come in, I can light their ass on fire. Also, you're not gonna let me use your hair products for that.
You're right.
Okay. So I can make my own flamethrower. Anyway, when our powers combine, you pyromaniac had my explosive tendencies. Oh, we sound like terrorists.
We have a gas fireplace.
Tell me when to go. Tell me when to go. So yes, breaking free from those ruts and rediscovering your purpose. Ooh. Now I can't get that sound of the door out of my head. Recognizing what the issue is and the underlying issue, and that's the only way that you're going to get better, because you need to understand where it all comes from, because you're going to have to fix the root problem. Otherwise, you're just going to be stacking things on top of that when that root problem's still there, so you're never really going to heal. Agree or disagree?
That's true. You're only fixing service problems.
Yeah, that's like putting duct tape on something expecting that it's going to forever be good. So what are some challenges of maintaining spiritual growth? What would you say are some challenges of maintaining spiritual growth?
It's kind of a double-edged sword, though.
A double-edged sword?
Kind of, because you could say a lack of consistency, but if you're consistently doing something over and over again, you can plateau.
Explain.
Like when you're working out and you're consistently doing the same workout over and over and over and over again, it starts to lose its effect on your body.
Yeah, because for example, what you're talking about, you would have to do muscle confusion.
Exactly.
So okay.
So you would have to alter. You would have to switch it up.
Okay. So switching things up. So for example, just waking up every morning and meditating, that would not work, is what you're saying?
It'll work. It'll work.
You have to switch it at some point?
Yeah, at some point you have to do something else. It's like you can meditate every day, but eventually you're gonna plateau. You're gonna have to switch up the type of meditation or the length of meditation. You have to do something else.
Give me 1 second, possible.
Okay.
I'm getting the double now. That's weird. Could you?
I thought you were gonna mute him.
I was gonna ask him if he could mute till he was going to speak. Oh, sounds like that's fixed.
Anyways,
I don't hear it.
Say it again.
Okay, there we go.
It's fixed.
All right, good. We got it. I can hear you clear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you barely.
Okay, I hear you loud and clear. That's weird. Because I'm like, now the echo is gone, and you said you can barely hear me now.
So echo still there?
No, the echo is gone, but now you're saying you can barely hear me.
Cool. All right, I'm good now. If the echo gone, I'm good to go.
But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, all right, cool. So first, right now we're on the topic of spiritual stagnation.
Ooh, okay.
And the question that I had brought up was, how do you break free from ruts and rediscover your purpose?
Detach, let go.
Detach and let go.
Detach and let go. We gotta remember that a lot of the things that we holding on to is the thing that's causing us the suffering.
Okay. And that's what I had brought up when I was talking about, in order to fully properly heal, I'm like, you must first understand what it is that you're going through. So you have to come down and understand the roots of it all. Otherwise, if you just try to do some surface level things, you're never going to fully heal from that situation, because it's always going to be there. So it's going to start manifesting itself in different things that you do.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Well,
so
a lot of people don't know how to discover themselves because they don't know themselves. So how do you do a self-discovery on an aspect of yourself that you're not familiar with or you cannot recognize?
You won't know what type of questions to ask if you know nothing of it.
That's it.
Okay, true. That part right there. Now, Jade had brought up reaching a plateau, because we were talking about challenges of maintaining spiritual growth. And she reaching a plateau, like doing the same things consistently to the reaching a point to where it's no longer doing anything for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, for sure. I just had a reading. My daughter gave me a reading, New Year's Eve. So she gave me a tarot card reading. Yeah. And one of the cards that came up, it had to do with terraforming your mind. And she reiterated and said, even though you have already terraformed your mind, everything you have done to terraform your mind, you have to swipe it clean and redo it again. So I think that's a lot of time when people going through, they'll get to a certain level where they reach a certain level of success. Yeah. And instead of them being able to be innovative and evolve, they stay stagnant. And that's what be the problem at.
Yeah, the stagnation is a crazy thing. In the military, well, in the Marine Corps, I'm not sure about other branches. I wasn't in there. We often said complacency kills.
It will. Agreed, 100%. I'm not in the military. I definitely agree with that statement.
Now, another thing that comes with spiritual stagnation, connecting with a higher power of your inner self. Mm-hmm. If you are doing nothing, would you say that is choosing to fail at growing?
It's not necessarily choosing to fail. It's not understanding who you are when it comes to evolution and what divinity looks like. So
Okay.
it's difficult for someone to see themselves divine when they define themselves as an individual of a low vibration. So
Mm.
how do you reach the height of divinity if your definition and the ideal of how you see yourself is such at a low vibration? What up, sis? What you got for me? What you got for me?
I feel like I just had a little telepathic moment. That's why I was like, I know it's not the dog, so I was like, that had to be you.
Come on. Come on.
So we're talking about connecting with a higher power or your inner self.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. You got it.
Okay, so your connection with your higher power and your inner self
Mm-hmm.
has to be maintained like a garden.
Okay.
If you keep the same crops in your garden too long, you're going to deplete yourself of all of your natural resources, like the minerals. You
Okay.
have to rotate your crops.
Yeah.
So you have to balance that. So while you might be reading your Bible consistently, or you're consulting cards consistently, or you're doing all this stuff, you're not going to get the answer. You just beating the dead horse at that point. You done dug up, you done grew from that soil for so long that it's got nothing else to offer you. Now it's time to reach outside of that. Like, stop putting it in a box. Does that make sense? You're limiting yourself spiritually with your creator and within yourself by not exploring other means of communication within yourself and with your higher power.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Could
You know, like, I was trying to
again
find a
that
way to say that, my brain be doing weird stuff and it don't be making sense.
no,
So I
it
had
does make sense. I mean, because when you really look at it, if the soil is not fertile, it's not going to bring you any fruit. It's not going to bring you anything. So you're absolutely right. If you're planting seeds inside of soil that's not nutritious,
Mm-hmm.
the seed won't germinate and grow. It's the same thing with your thoughts. It's the same thing when connected to higher power. If you don't recognize within yourself that there's a divine essence of you and you're not able to communicate with that, then you're right. You're beating a dead horse. There's nothing going to happen there. But if you do have principles of meditation or yoga or Tai Chi or walking or anything that places you in a core essence for you to receive and understand how to communicate with that divine essence, then you're in a place of evolution. So yeah,
yeah,
I agree with that.
so I think where people get stuck a lot is they stick with only one form of communication. Like, they put the communication in a box.
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
the only way I can communicate with my higher power is to pray and to meditate. That is the only way. The only way is to scream and jump up and down and turn around and do backflips or whatever the case may be. And it's not only just that.
Yes. So I love the fact that you brought that up, because that's literally going to roll into what the next little talking point is, which Mr. Impossible briefly had brought it up, talking about yoga and stuff. I'm going into the mind-body connection. So with it, how do you optimize mental wellness for peak physical performance? What are some things that individuals could do to strengthen their minds while strengthening their body?
Read.
I think the best way that I can describe how I see people do it is those extreme weightlifters or those gladiator things. I'll be watching them. I'll be so impressed. I'm not even gonna freaking lie to you, but you can tell, especially when they're doing their grip test and they're holding these two columns.
Yeah.
The ones that hold on the longest, they go into this weird zone where it's like they space out and then they're just gone.
Oh, I forgot what that's called. I learned about that.
And you can tell that they're connecting. Everything is connecting. And they're just holding on to this thing that it shouldn't be possible for you to hold on to.
Is it called the flow zone?
I don't know. I know they call it some type of zone, but don't make me tell you the untruth. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
because I tell by watching.
Yeah, I remember because he had mentioned it on Soul, the movie Soul. When you are doing
the kid movie.
Yeah, yeah. When you're connecting with everything in the mind and you end up reaching like that peak performance. I think they call it. We used to back in the day we'll say you're in the zone. But I'm like, they actually call it something. I'm gonna say it's like the flow zone or something. I'm gonna look.
That movie was dope.
I'm gonna look into that so I can actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but definitely.
Like that's that mind body connection.
Now,
digging deep in there.
What did you want to add for that? For the question,
I was gonna say just as a runner. I've been running for over a decade, and it's the same process of connecting that mind and spirit. Because there are times that the body says, or fasting, the body says, "Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm tired." It's that mental proudness that really keeps you moving forward. So to optimize mental wellness for physical performance, it's more of an interaction between mind and body. Like you have to be fully, totally aware of what's going on between mind and body. So one of the things that I would say that could help anybody that's going through this particular aspect is fasting. And I said it the other night on my show. I said the mind can have a thought to reject what the body wants to eat. So then now the body got a mind and you got a conscious mind.
Yep.
So what are you listening to? What are you adhering to? So when people are looking to optimize on physicality, it's going beyond that rep. So if you got a rep and you're only doing 5, do 10. Do 5 more. Push yourself. So then when you get to the point of where, quote unquote, you feel so tired, you know you got another gear because you know you can push past that.
Yes.
And they used to my nerves.
I mean,
like, do one more.
We did that all the. I was gonna bring that up. We did that all the time in the Marine Corps. We're like, all right, jump up there, 10 pull-ups, and then we'll be like, all right, 1 for chesty, 1 for the commandant, 1 for first sergeant. Like, and it's like the next thing you know, it's just like you have done more than you thought that you could.
Yes.
Because you're pushing yourself. So I mean, for me, when people always say like I've reached my peak, I've reached my plateau, I'm like, no. I was like, because when it comes down to it, I was like, the way that we are, it's impossible for us to reach a point and that's as far as we can go. I mean, that's come with civilizations, that's come with developments in technology, everything. As long as we keep on doing things, we're still going to be able to go past what we thought that we couldn't. I mean, for example, for the longest time, nobody thought that anybody can run a 4-minute mile. And then we end up having one individual run a 4-minute mile. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of other people started being able to do 4-minute miles. Now they're at a point to where people are able to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. But nobody ever thought that it was possible. So we even hit 4-minute miles. When it comes down to the mind and body connecting, I feel that stress management is a big thing. And I remember you had said something about breathing. That's one of the techniques for stress management. I think it's the 4-6-8 method, or
that's a good method to use. Either one of those is good. 4-6-8. If you can do it 4-9, if you do it 5-10, whatever your spirit guides you to, that's the thing you should be really focusing on. As Sis just said, start having just a routine of doing stuff and be innovative when you're doing things. Like let your spirit really guide you. I don't yoga the same way every morning.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't meditate the same way every day. Just don't.
Yeah, switching it up. And as I was saying earlier to her, I was like, it's the same way with bodybuilders. I was like, you got to have that muscle. What is it? I almost said muscle fatigue, muscle confusion, in order to actually allow those muscles to not get used to the workouts you're doing. So if you have a constant routine of a schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're doing certain muscle groups, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you do another muscle group. I'm like, you got to start switching out the exercises, and then eventually switching the days that you're working those muscle groups. Otherwise, your body will get used to it, and therefore you're not going to be getting the most out of the workouts that you're doing. And talking about workouts, I want to talk a little bit about how the role of nutrition in both mental and physical well-being. So you had about fasting. Now, I also have heard of some individuals doing a 30-day fast, and when they were doing a 30-day fast, they were still working out during that time of I think it's ketosis, not ketosis. Is it? I'm saying the word wrong. Is ketosis? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when the body starts retreading upon itself, I got you.
Yes. So a couple individuals I had spoken to, and some I had watched some videos on, were talking about that, and they said that feeling was better than having a pre-workout before they would work out. So they said that they actually started seeing a lot more muscle growth while they were fasting and working out. Did you have something similar like that happen with you when you were fasting? Because I know you just did a 14-day fast, correct?
Yeah, when I fast, I don't do heavy workout. I just do like core. I do planks and things of that nature. So I don't do any like heavy lifting. I really reserve my body right now. I'm not looking to build muscles. This finger works really good. So I don't have to do a whole lot of workout. You know what I'm saying? I stay fit. I love to stay fit. So I'm not doing things right now to acquire a lot of mass. I'm doing things right now for longevity, to be lean, to be in shape, to be able to breathe properly, to be able to receive properly. And I think
So
that go ahead.
They were not like getting big. They were getting toned, more ripped, as you would call it in this day and age.
I could still do that and be on a fruit. It just for me and understanding what the body is and what it does, you can really damage the body like that. So for some people, if they want to just build it and tone it, that's cool. I'm not going to do that while I'm going through a fast. I don't know anybody that I came under from, again, over a decade ago that worked out in a full 45, 30-minute workout saying I'm toning myself. I mean, granted, that's what you do. That's what you do. I'm not, So I don't know if it's that beneficial. I know it is beneficial for the mind and the body. I do know that. But I know it wouldn't be beneficial for me.
And to each their own, yeah. So
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, everybody has their own things that they can do, and for anybody who decides to try and do that, know yourself, know your limits, and also at the same time to take.
I can run when I'm fasting, but I'm not working out when I'm fasting. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can run 3 miles with no problem and just come back and drink water and be fine. But I'm talking about actually weight building and not while I'm fasting. Probably not.
I'm sure that they most likely did steps in order to be able to do that. I'm sure that they trained their body in a way to where they could still work out. I'd imagine it wasn't like they were going to the gym, lifting heavy and things like that. They were probably doing lower reps and all that work in pink muscle rather than the white. They weren't looking to bulk. They were probably looking for the more muscle endurance type deal. You can do that with a 5-pound weight. So
that's why I do a lot of core when I fast. I do more core exercises when I fast. So it's building, as you stated, toning and building. So I just started doing the 1-minute planks. And I just started doing that. And after 2 weeks, I'm going to go up to 10. So I'll be doing highs and lows. Right now, I'm just doing the low plank at 1 minute at 5 times for 1 minute.
Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, I just got a medicine ball. I'm doing my planks like that. Oh, it feels amazing. Hard as mess. Hard as mess.
Man, look. I was good to minute four. Minute four, I was like, ooh, Lord, have mercy.
Man, I did. It's funny because I can do like over 100 sit-ups. I got on the exercise ball. I did about 40 sit-ups and was feeling the burn. I was like, oh man, I was like, this is all core. There's no assistance of anything. I was like, yeah, I've been doing it wrong my entire life. And it's good for the joints.
Trying to tell you. And I'm listen. Hey, listen, that was a beautiful thing, right? Because when I was doing the planks, I did the planks for like 4 days straight. And I'm like, man, my goddamn core is sore as hell. Cause that wasn't being worked out. I wasn't doing no sit-ups, no nothing, just the planks. Just the planks.
Yeah, that's wicked, bro.
It is. It's one of that. What I'm receiving from it is great, but it is some work. I ain't gonna sit here and lie.
It truly is. And I mean, you have to have discipline to continue it too. Because there's a lot of individuals. Matter of fact, we just had New Year's come through. What does everybody love to do with New Year's time? Go get a gym membership. And I'm telling you, like the first 2 weeks of a new year is when gyms make the most money. But the funny thing is a lot of individuals do not stay committed to going to the gym throughout the year. They'll write out this New Year's resolution and they'll end up dropping it a couple months in. So, I mean, the discipline is something that a lot of people have to work on. And that right there comes with the mental, the mind. So having the mind connect to the body, that is important. That's that discipline. But I want to go a little bit further now and go beyond the physical. So with that, I want to ask this question. What does cultivating inner strength for resilience and growth look like? What you got for that one? What does cultivating inner strength for resilience and growth look like to you?
Oh, good Lord. That's a hard one because a lot of people struggle with having a large level of belief in themselves to continue to do something.
That's funny.
There's not a lot of self-love flowing around out here.
Facts on facts.
And you can blame that on whatever you want to blame it on. It's compound of everything that's going on right now. There's not a lot of self-confidence. There's not a lot of self-love. There's not a lot of,
There's a lot of people seeking validation from other things, from outside themselves.
So that will be your first step is to take care of yourself on that level. Because once you convince yourself that you can and that you do have the strength and the fortitude to continue to do something or to even start doing something new at that point, then
I want to take the time to say big up yourself because you're doing something new and I appreciate you for it.
Yeah, I feel gross. My hands are sweating. How sweaty my hands are?
Hey, at least your feet palms ain't sweating.
They are, but I'm close to myself.
Oh, okay.
But
at least they free.
Once you get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and you unstop yourself. Because sometimes you get there and you don't jump off. You stand there and then your toes curl on.
You gotta be like that penguin from that. I can do this. I just gotta trick myself. What is that?
Yeah. Whether you gotta trick yourself up and jump off, or you finally suck it up and you just go for it. Mm-hmm. That's up to you. That's not up to nobody else. Can't nobody else push you to do that. So once you get there and you realize that you're gonna love yourself, whether you pass or fail after jumping off of that cliff,
and survive.
Well, I'm not saying literally jump off a cliff. I'm using it as a metaphor.
I love my broken self.
And that's the place you gotta get to. You can love yourself in your broken state, but you gotta realize that you can't stay there.
Yes.
People make that sound weird. It's like, how can you love yourself in your life? And listen, that's the first step. You got to love yourself enough to get yourself out of it.
That's the difference between the victim and survivor mentality. Because if something bad happens to you, you dwell in it, you're making yourself a victim. If you overcome and keep on pushing, you're a survivor. The reason why a lot of businesses don't work is because they end up giving up or they never even started it. A lot of things can happen. I mean, shoot, look at our president.
Can we not talk about that right now?
I'm just saying.
Can we not talk about that right now?
He's filed bankruptcy many times and has had plenty things fail in his life, but you still see he's still going out and doing things. We're not talking about as a president, talking about the things that he has accomplished in his life. Okay, we're not going and turning this into a political thing. All right.
You can't even.
Love you. Mean it. Mr. Impossible. So what does cultivating strength for resilience and growth look like to you?
Mental fortitude.
Mm.
Do you have the mental fortitude to cultivate in an area of your life where you know that you lack awareness? And through that, am I able to actually grow from that? So doing a real self-analysis upon yourself, cultivating and growing in that strength, you have to understand that from a mental state. Because everything comes from our mind. All is mind, the universe is mental. So if it's all from our mind, what am I cultivating here? What am I cultivating here? So as some call it the heart-mind coherence. Are they in communication? Because my heart will give me understanding that my brain is saying, what the fuck?
What did I say the other day? I was like, for the longest time, I was speaking from my heart. I was like, but when I started actually thinking about the things that I would say, I felt like I was kind of sugarcoating it. It was like there was too much thinking that I had to do to make sure that it came out correctly. But oftentimes it felt like I had to break it down in a way for others to understand, which to me felt like I was taking some of the meaning out of what it was.
Well, that's why I told you when we first met, you say, well, what you thinking? I said, I told you, I don't have to think. I just be aware. I'm just present.
Yep.
So that way I don't have to be finding the words. What word I'm finna use? You don't know the word you get ready to use? What the fuck you doing? It should come out. Yeah, you thinking. You thinking to pull from somewhere. As long as I'm speaking from here, it would always give understanding to my mind. My mind is always confused about what the hell my heart doing.
And it's funny because when I was younger, that's how I was. And I used to piss a lot of people off. And it was, and I was like, but they always end up coming back and be like, that's the shit that I did not want to hear, but that's what I needed to hear. And then in the military, I had to start being tactful and thinking about what I was going to say. And ultimately, I had to what they were trying to do was get me to word things in a way that was via the jargon that they use.
Right.
So, I mean, that's when I got very disconnected from what I used to do, just be able to speak. And with that, I'm going back to it, which is also one of the reasons why I felt that I was not myself in my own body for a long time, which probably was also led to the depression that I had in the past. But there was a lot of things that fell into that.
Can I ask this question?
Yeah.
Based upon what you just shared, so is it the programming that are taking away the ability to cultivate one's own self-resilience based upon the program that they either been brought up in that environment or conditioning in a particular program?
I'm going to answer this based off of episodes you did. It was the yo-yo mentality.
Okay.
So with it, my slate got cleaned and I had to forget everything and then become what was put in front of me.
That break you down to build you back up.
Literally, that's in one of our cadences. First phase, they break you down. Second phase, you start to come around. Third phase, standing lean and mean. Graduation, standing tall in my greens. It literally was a psychological thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I mean, you just shared it. It's the programming. So the programming and environment substitute or coordinates the cultivating within that inner strength. So that's why most people in the military have a certain particular thought process because they were cultivated and programmed in the military. When you go to come outside of the military, it becomes to be difficult because the programming is difficult.
Simultaneously.
And I mean, it has its pros and it has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
And just like how you stated, it allows a lot of us to think the same way. So for example, in a combat situation, we all are able to move without being able to talk to one another because we all know what each person is doing or where they're supposed to be. So when we are doing these types of things, having talking guns, overlapping fields of fire, things like that, we know, all right, bet this person is going to be over here. There's this person's over here, meaning that I am clear to go this path. So I mean, it has its pros and its cons, and I mean, it works for what we were trained to do.
Well, again, that goes right along with what I was saying. The question was cultivating inner strength. You know, so for resilience and growth. So you were programmed for a particular way.
Yes.
It wasn't necessarily cultivating because they structured the environment itself. They control the environment. What we're talking about, raising the level of divinity, is inner cultivation. That your inner divinity is cultivating your mental capacity for you to grow and move forward. So when the question was, if somebody else is programmed and they're speaking from the program, how do you cultivate inner strength when you're relying back here? Like the yo-yo, you said, well, we got to strike that. Well, what happened when they don't know how to strike that? You say you always be the devil advocate. What happened when they don't know how to strike that?
They'll be lost.
Institutions.
So there we go. So when we look around, most people that are institutionalized, or they're in particular environment or sectors, and they're not cultivating inner strength.
They literally can't get it. They can't hold a job. They can't do none of that. They end up outside of society.
I mean, in all honesty, you see that a lot in individuals who are trying to portray something that they're not.
Right.
Because they're constantly having internal battles with who they are. Who they are is trying to be out, but they're trying to portray something else. So therefore, their reality is shattered. They're trying to create a reality that is not theirs.
So true.
So let's talk about the cultivating self-compassion.
Cultivating self-compassion. Ooh. I like that.
A lot of
you're your biggest critic.
Yeah.
You beat yourself down so much more.
I actually had just said that.
And then the world doesn't help because they go, look at that son of a, look at that didn't look like that turned out well for him. Let's talk about all the things he did wrong.
Yes. There was a saying that I used to say, I was like, your whole life you can be known as a master bridge builder. You slip and fall on one dick, now you're known as a master dick sucker. I'm sorry,
we can't. We're not using that. I'm not agreeing with that saying. Hell no.
I'm telling you to.
No. If you accidentally do that, that's not a motherfucker slip and fall, motherfucker. You don't slip and fall on a dick. So that can't work for me.
You can be known for doing all these great things, but people will remember that one mistake, that one bad thing that you did over all your accomplishments.
I definitely agree with that. I'm in a definitely agreement with that. I just didn't like the example that you used. I wasn't agreeing with the example. I agree with what you're saying. I just didn't agree with
that. I know, but that's the reason why I explained the example, because it's true. Exactly how you just kind of got stuck. It was like, if you slipped and fell on a dick, then you didn't slip and fall. You did that purposely. But at the same time, you see how you focused on the negative? That's why I use that example. That is why I use that example. You understand?
You were stuck there for a minute.
Hell no, I'm never going to understand that one. But
you see out of what I said, you were focused on him falling on a dick. But
no. That's what I understand the example. I said I don't agree with what was used. Yes. So it's not like I'm oblivious from what you're saying. I'm never going to agree with the example.
Yeah, I mean that would never with that. Yeah. I wouldn't agree with it either. But the issue is the fact that when I use that example, the response that always is the person falling on a dick. And it's just like, but okay, cool. That's exactly what I'm talking about. He accomplished all his good, but yet
I'm gonna bring it back another story. There was a book that I was reading. Yeah, I'm bringing back another story. You too far from me. There's another story that Arnold Palmer, the golfer, he was golfing, and at a particular shot, I think it was supposed to be like a par 3 or a par 4, and it ended up being like a par 6 or par 8, and then they ended up building a monument there, and that monument still standing today, saying this is what Arnold Palmer did so many and what the book was saying, and I don't remember the book right now, the story just stands out based upon your example. So what the story was saying is, don't build a monument when you made a mistake. And that's what a lot of people do when they have a mishap. The first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna build that monument, and they can always point to that mistake. So I agree with you. Yeah, once you that one thing wrong, they can neglect out. And same thing happened for Billy Carson. You know, when Billy Carson came out that week, they want to scrap everything this man has done. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't ready for the checks and balances. So what? It doesn't negate everything else he's done.
Exactly.
And they want to demonize, you know what I'm saying? And quote unquote, these are supposed to be religious people. These are people of a particular religion and faith. And they murdered him, man. They killed that dude.
Yeah. I'm tracking on that situation. I didn't dive too much into it just because of the fact that I was just like, look, I don't, the way that
I dig all the way in.
The way that our own people were coming for him, I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with that. I'm gonna leave that right there. But cultivating the self-compassion for oneself. I know that on a previous episode you talked about the hurt people hurting people. And when you have the hurt people who are refusing to heal, there are oftentimes when you are hurt, now it seems like people are more comfortable hurting others to make themselves feel better. It's almost as if they are bullying. They're bullying others for their self-gratification, to make them feel better, to forget temporarily about what they're going through or what they have gone through. Avoidance. We have to get back to showing love to ourselves. A lot of individuals are afraid to do things by themselves because they feel that who they are is based off of the way that others see them. So a lot of people want to do things in groups. They're afraid to be alone. And I did a recording not that long ago about it's okay to be alone but never feel lonely.
I love me some me, and I can spend some time with me all day.
And are you lonely?
Nope.
It's okay to be alone, but don't ever feel lonely.
All the way with myself and be okay.
Same here. I actually try to be alone a lot. I'm like, I'm just like, look, do you help with something? No, cool, bye. Developing emotional intelligence. You're one of the most emotionally intelligent people I know, so I want you to speak on this one because I gotta take notes. At least I know. It's a work in progress for me, so babe, educate me, please.
It wasn't always like that.
And I know it's not always gonna be like that for me either.
I used to be a swing first, ask questions later kind of person.
I'm doing a lot better.
You know, and then it turned into are you really worth it? Like, are you that important in my life? In my story, it's like, if anybody's the main character, it's me. Mm-hmm. So why am I gonna let you come up in here and raise my blood pressure? Well, why are we doing that? It's like, I'm in control of my own stuff. You know what I mean? Yes. Like it's like, am I giving you that power to make me come out of character? It's like, because I have to give it to you.
Yeah.
You can't take it from me. And that will make people upset for that reason. Like, they'll be like mad and yelling and screaming, and I'm just looking at them like, I don't know what you want me to do with that energy, but I don't want it. which would make them more mad because now I'm not mad and I'm not jumping at them how they jumping at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're looking for a reason
so you want
to blame somebody else.
You want me to react to you, and I'm not going to.
They want to feel. They want to get you aroused, to fuel off your arousal, to give them a reason, to give them, to make it to seem as if there was a reason they reacted the way that they did.
It's like, you may have your reason. I don't care what your reason. Listen,
that's a healthy way to go with it too.
Your reasoning is yours. Your reality is yours. I cannot alter that for you. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when people get like that, especially when I know I didn't really do anything, I get to reach a point where it's gonna sound bad. I be feeling sorry for the person.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Feeling so, I was like, I'm sorry that you feel like you need to act this way. Like, I don't know what happened in your life to make you feel like that was okay.
Who hurt you?
Or who submitted that in your life as one of your core personalities, or how you feel like you need to present yourself to the world. But I'm sorry that they did that to you. That's really sad. Maybe you should reevaluate it.
In those moments where it's like, I feel sorry for whoever built the man that you are.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I'm sorry. Because it's like your inner child is clearly hurt. Like, I don't know. Go fix it. I'm sorry. I want to give that little child a hug. And it makes me sad.
It's funny you say that, because when I was doing customer service, that's how I would be feeling when I'm telling people I'm sorry, but they think I'm apologizing for the crap that they're doing. Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I say I'm sorry, and then I'm finishing the sentence in my head. So they hear I'm sorry, but yeah, exactly that.
I'm sorry that your day is going so bad that you felt like you had to come in here and pop off at somebody that don't know you from Adam. I'm sorry.
I practice the law of detachment, so I really don't give a fuck when nobody else talk about it. I mean, in respect, in all respect, I have compassion for everybody. I'm just not attached to what you say. I'm not attached to how you feel. Like, it took me years for me to be at a place in my daughter's life where I had to detach from their own decisions and what they did in their life. Once I learned how to detach from that aspect, everybody else was a motherfucking walk in the park. Because if I can love my daughters to a point where I'm not affected by their decisions, who the fuck are you? I know I love my daughters. I know I love my grandkids. But guess what? I don't let their actions detour me based upon what they do and how I feel. Them two different things. So you can be upset and it won't bother me one bit. You can be mad as hell and I'll be like, so what you want to do? And they be like, you can't see how upset I am. I'm like, how long you gonna stay upset? How long you gonna be mad? So a lot of times we have these attachments to all of these ideas, and as long as you got those attachment to ideas, you pretty much fuck. Ain't no room for growth. So that's what a lot of people have. I'm agree with sis. They just stuck. And listen, most 85% of people in the world describe their life from limitation. I'm gonna leave it right there. 85% of people in the world describe their life from limitation. If you ask somebody what's going on in their life, they're gonna start telling you all the shit is wrong. They go to what's wrong first. So they already in the lack, they already in the limitation, they already in the fear, they already in the doubt, they already in the worry. You just asking them what's going on, and they tell you everything in their life is fucked up. So that means they're not present. They have no vision for themselves. They don't have an inner core that helps them realize, how do I actually deal with these emotions from an intellectual place. Not saying that you don't have to have emotion. Like, we men, if your wife come home and she's having a bad day, you can tell her, well, I don't give a fuck you having a bad day. What you cooking? That's not going to be a good day for you.
Might be a level.
Ain't gonna be a good day. So you're gonna be compassionate and say, hey honey, what can I do to ease this right here off of you? You're gonna say, yeah.
Have I? Have I?
The way she looked, nah.
Yeah, I believe I have. I mean, I have not always been where I am now. When we met, I was so far away from where I am now.
So far. I bet.
Hey,
Believe, I'm sure that went both ways. Yeah, 7 years strong, right? I mean that just goes to show we've been growing together. All right, so I appreciate.
Sometimes some flashbacks kick in.
Oh hell yeah! Like you having a dream and then wanting to wake up and kill me out based off a dream. I'm over here trying to sleep. Like the hell?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like had nothing to do with me. Okay, in your dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Show did. Absolutely.
But
that shit hit different, huh?
Yeah, dude. You wake up and she's looking at you like,
you did.
Did I snore? Did I attack you in my sleep? What happened? No, I had a dream. I had a dream about what?
You see, and I was aware enough to process that instead of just laying hands.
Man, you told me about this dream hours later, and I'm like, why are you so upset?
Because I had to
get away from me.
The difference between my subconscious and reality.
I was sick anyway.
I had to process the information I had received.
So with that, let's talk about building healthy coping mechanisms. What are some healthy coping mechanisms? Because some people will turn to things that are not healthy. Drugs, alcohol.
It depends on a person.
What are some healthy coping mechanisms? I know in yoga, exercise.
I would first take the word coping mechanism out, and I would probably use something of a terminology of what are some new habits that you can learn? What are some adjustments in your life that you can learn? Because the coping thing, you already have an idea what coping already is. So you already again, most people define themselves from lack and for limitation. So when you use the word coping, they're already going to describe a coping mechanism based from that aspect of defeat, that aspect of life. So if anybody doing any type of adjustments in their lives, I would just say adjust where you already know that there's fault. What new habit can you bring into your life that will enhance your life on a daily basis? Anthony T. Broder said, take anything that you're learning, give it 30 days. If it ain't working in your life in 30 days, give it back. So to the individual who's looking, whatever adjustment you're looking to make in your life, based upon new habits, based upon when you're making your evolutionary change, give yourself 30 days and hearing and being disciplined in that act every single day for 30 days. If it don't do nothing in your life, it don't help you whatsoever, go back to the drawing board and do it again until you find a thing that on a daily basis can take you up and out of the situation that you're in. That would be the only healthy thing that I would say, because everybody different. If I tell you a mechanism that I use, an adjustment that I use, you at a different place, you could use that same adjustment, it ain't gonna work for you. Then now I become a liar. Because now what I shared with you, it ain't working for you. We all too different to use the same type of adjustments.
Agreed. So you must find what works for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a lot of rage baking.
Yeah, you did. Oh my gosh.
I did a lot of rage running. So I would get mad and I would just take off and run 5, 6, 7 miles. Then I learned how not to be mad and how to deal with my anger on a different way. So now I harness rage with love. A level of my rage will probably never go anywhere. This is no lie. I'm not being funny whatsoever. It's a level of rage probably would never leave. But there's a level of love that's so high, so compassionate, so intense, so aware, so understanding that even though that rage comes in, I'm gonna put that love on his ass. Come back, bring that ass back down. Come on, calm down. It's okay. It's all right. It took me years to develop that. So it's not like something I just did yesterday, because I had 30 years of anger. You don't turn off 30 years of anger in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's 30 years of anger. Takes a while. So yeah, I just find different habits. If reading might be a way that you deal with certain things, knitting, drawing, walking, exercising, like what works for you? Some people like to go fishing. I go fishing, like as clear as my mind. Like whatever new habit that you want to create, look at the habits that you have, and then you will understand. You don't know how to look at the habits you have? Take 1 hour every day and do it for 30 days and write down every hour on the hour your mental state, your emotional feeling. Every hour on the hour. Write down your emotional state, your mental state, what's going on in your mind, how you're feeling. And 30 days from that, you will see a pattern and habit in your life. And then you can make your adjustments from that. That's what I did.
Make the adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult.
Especially when you start to recognize the pattern of how you really think and how you really feel. In 30 days, you're going to see how you really feel, how you really think, what's constantly on your mind every hour, on the hour, every day, every week. And you do that for 30 days. I promise you, you're going to find something that you ain't even know was there.
I love the way that you just did that. I'm going to roll into the closing remarks. My love.
For me? Okay. We're on the subject of growth, okay? Give yourself some grace. Okay? Don't measure your growth against somebody else's growth. Are you better than yesterday? Better than last week? You better than last month, last year? Give yourself some props on the steps that you took.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up. Nobody got time for that.
Really don't. Really don't. Well,
it's not gonna help you.
We don't, but there's individuals who find the time to.
Yeah, don't listen to them because they're not doing the work you're doing. So leave them all the way out of that. They're not down there in the trenches with you. I'm just they're not doing so. They got their own problems they need to be working out. Okay.
Facts.
Impossible.
My closing remarks would be have a declaration for your own worth. What does that look like for your change? What does it look like for your evolution? Like have a declaration, have a discipline for that in your life. Be dedicated to that more than you're dedicated to anything else in life. Have understanding, as Sis just said, give yourself grace. If you don't know anything about alchemy, you don't know anything about old texts, you don't know anything about meditation, well, give yourself some time to learn. Don't do it for a month and say, "Oh, this shit ain't working." You know, certain books it took me years to actually put it into implementation on a daily basis. Because what you think you know versus what you're actually dealing with emotionally and mentally may be totally different. So have a declaration for what it is that you're doing in your life.
Respect. Like Sunday morning. For me, my closing remarks, I have to say, growth is one of the hardest things that I have had to deal with. Due to the it requires a level of looking within yourself, understanding yourself, and truly loving yourself. When you come from if you are similar to me, where you always found reasons why not to, or reasons to blame yourself for when things that happen, or sometimes even be afraid of doing things based off of what could happen. There was a lot of living in the future and living in the past, not so much being in the now. So therefore, growing and being in the now, it's as if you have had a lot of weight put off your shoulders. And when you're so used to being held down, it's uncomfortable being weightless. At the beginning, I was talking with this lovely thing over here and said, In order to become balanced, you must first be imbalanced. How are you ever going to balance yourself if you're not able to recognize that you are not balanced? You have to be able to understand that and then take the necessary steps to do what needs to be done to get your life in order. Because you create your own reality. If you want to sit here and wallow in everything that's going wrong, or be so out of it the moment, focusing on the things that you want to accomplish, that you miss everything leading up to it. You need to look at yourself and understand how to balance it all. Because you are in this alone, but you don't want to become lonely trying to be in this alone. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yo, this was another episode of Divine Time. I appreciate everybody who watched this. I have a question for y'all. Leave it down in the comments. What are you doing to grow? What are you doing to grow? That could be spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or physically. Drop that down in the comments so that way the things that you are using, somebody else may be able to try that as well. Because again, you never know what to ask if you're not familiar with those things. I appreciate everybody who jumped on. Thank you, Brother Impossible. I'm gonna close it out with this.